I'm gonna be talking about a couple of things that kind of just clicked, and I thought I'd share it with everybody. First off, let me start with yeah, I don't have my regular equipment, and I'm doing this all through the phone, kind of just jerry rigging the cameras and everything to try to get and show you guys some things online too. But yeah, I want the audio to be better. You'll see why, but I want to give you guys like the gist of something that I find pretty revealing about the way they're mind controlling us and how to absolutely prove it that it's happening. It's not just an invisible thing, right? All right. So for a long time I've been wondering about, well, this noise. Let me show you. It happens every time I film anything. This noise. I'm sorry. This one. Hear it? Now, besides that noise, I wonder how many of you have noticed all of a sudden you get something like this. Out of the blue. I'm telling my dad how the sound started coming from the southeast, and within an instant, it was coming from the opposite side, the northwest. Another funny thing about this that I thought I'd share with you guys real quick. Let's go back to this one real quick. Let me pause it and get the details out. I want you to notice what time it is. 4:46 p.m. Now, for those of you that know how to do some numerology, know how the system's always been obsessed with numerology. So you do some quick math. What do you get? 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 6, 14. Around 13, around the power numbers is when these things start happening. It's always plus minus maybe 30 seconds. Of course, I'm not showing like milliseconds. I can't get it precise, but it's close enough. So it happens. I mean, you can pretty much count on it. When the numbers add up 13, 12, you get. Let me see if I just random quick example of something. Let's look at a chem plane. Let's see what time this thing was going on. 9 plus 4. Okay, 13. So that's 1 plus 3. That's 4, 4, 2. That's 6. And again, it's. I mean, you know the numbers 7. Okay, maybe right here I'm stretching it a little bit. It wasn't a great example. My point is that I've been meaning to do a video about how a long time ago I did a video on my other channel where I explained that pretty much the same concept. Every time that one of those power numbers comes up on the clock, people tend to have like a nervous response, an itch or something, right? They'll flick their nose, something. They'll shift in their seat. I'll get into that more, but I mean, it's just the sources of mind control. Now that we've established a sort of a basis, I want you to remember this noise again. Keep it in your head. For those of you who haven't heard it, which I doubt, because we all seem to have these motorcycles all around us. Right? And then after that, you'll get like a lot of background noise. And like a sort of a wind noise, almost traffic-y. You can sort of still hear in the background. Now, I want you guys to see something. Alright. I'm going to stop for a second, load it up. Alright, we're back. Now, I want you guys to check a funky sound from space. Just tell me if any of this sounds familiar.
And someone who did
oh, I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
Documentary.
Here we go. Let me lower a little bit. Sorry, TV's Wi-Fi is a little slow. It does the job when the PC takes a random crap for no reason. Ah, blessed NASA. Alright, so this is the... Well... Now, does any of that sound a little bit familiar? Let's refresh our memories. Did we get that? Oops. Bad director. My apologies. Bear with me. Listen to... Huh? Come on, it's the same freaky noise. I've heard it. I've heard it. I hear it in my sleep. Now, what does this mean? Saturn noise. Well, the motorcycle we keep hearing. Well, like always, David Icke, my man, who was there when I woke up out of my slumber. He set me, I don't know, like, the dude knows so much, it takes forever just to, like, I don't know, if you're doing this whole awaken thing, right, whenever you hit, like, a new, whenever you open a new door, or fall down another hole, you gotta really, like, get it. Like, you really need to understand that level. You can't just, like, be like, oh, okay, and then move on. No, you need to absolutely get it. And that requires time, that requires thinking about it, putting the pieces together. See, if you just know, like, the basics of everything, you'll never understand the whole thing. The picture is just so much bigger than that. You really need to take your time with each step or whatever you find. Just a little hint. I see a lot of people, they know, like, like I guess the what it is, but they don't understand the content, the the context behind it or nothing. That's another thing. I just find people they say they get it, but they don't get it. It's a very shallow understanding, and I mean the system. This is so deep. We need to go that deep. How do we beat the system if we don't understand it? Alright, just going off on another rant. Alright, so David Icke is talking about Saturn and the Moon. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Alright, so he gets into the Moon. I'm interested in Mars. I mean Saturn.
Which is a gigantic broadcasting system, which is broadcasting this fake reality in league with the Moon, which is like something that picks that up and amplifies it at the Earth, so we get it big time strong. And this is the way that at least part of this matrix is formed.
Haven't you written in the past, though, that, and let me go back to Mars for a second, David, and all this stuff is in your books, and it's very intriguing, very interesting about the Moon, and certainly Saturn, and again, it's like the reptilian thing. We see the demagoguery of it. We see it used everywhere, and they worship it, so we should be suspicious. Talk about suspicious minds. You had written in a few of your books talking about Mars having been the original colony, that Mars was destroyed or burned out, and then the people had moved here, and then in fact a lot
the
of
guy
he
backtracks and starts talking about Mars again.
Seems to be an excellent.
I hate when they do that.
The Saturn myth, and the Saturn myth was the result of what seems like decades of research into ancient legends, accounts, symbols relating to Saturn. And it's fascinating. I mean, you mentioned about things being all around us, so we should look at them. Well, Saturn is all around us in the most extraordinary way in terms of symbols. There's Saturn symbolism everywhere. Courts are Saturn symbols. The black gowns of judges and when you get your degree in education, that is Saturn. The cube is Saturn. It's why they have the black cube in Mecca, which is the focus of worship of the Islamic religion. It's everywhere, and I go into it in the books, and I'm really going to go into this at Wembley big time as well, and I'm going further on all the time as I understand more. And it's one of the big pennies that dropped with me that brought this kaleidoscope into much greater focus, Jack, was when I realized that actually Saturn was once the prime sun of the Earth. It was in a very different position to the one where it is now, and it didn't have rings. And there was this phenomenal cataclysm, which people like Emmanuel Velikovsky wrote about in the 50s to great ridicule, of course. But
of course.
Like, David Tolbert and the
don't mind me, I'm just having myself a little smoke.
Got this whole area of
while
science,
we watch
which
this.
is very, very credible.
I mean, this is big stuff. It blew my mind.
Basic theme, not every detail, but the theme of Velikovsky's work, which was that there was this fantastic cataclysm, which links to the Great Flood and all the ancient accounts of the Earth tipping over and mountains soaring out of the Earth and all this stuff in the ancient past, and the way that the solar system was rearranged. And Tolbert's reading of this from the ancient accounts is that there was a catastrophic interaction.
All right, you could check this up yourselves if you're interested. I'm gonna move forward a little bit. Oops, wrong control. All right, just a couple seconds. I can hear the guy talk forever.
And Mars is walkabout. Venus went walkabout. So did Mars. So did Jupiter in this great cataclysmic event. And interestingly, the observations of Norman Berggren looking at images that came back from the voyage.
What is that thing? A little moon?
Saturn, and which have been
My ass.
supported by the later Cassini mission to Saturn and its images, is that there are these enormous electromagnetic phenomena, he calls them vehicles, which are spewing out, he calls it exhaust, I say it's something very different, that are actually creating the rings. And you know, the official story is that the rings of Saturn are full of ice, basically, ice particles of various sizes. I say that is actually some form of crystal, maybe that we don't know about on Earth and have never come across. But those rings are a receiver transmission system.
It looks like a giant antenna. Hello?
Yes, exactly. And you know, one of the things that the Cassini mission found is that there are enormously powerful.
I mean, this is the sound. This is how they're controlling us. This is how they do it, like, without having to broadcast it through speakers or anything. It's just, they're bouncing it off the moon. That's why the moon doesn't turn. Because it's permanently placed. It moves and it cycles in order to deflect it towards the face of the earth, whatever side it's facing. It makes absolute sense. That's why it doesn't move. Whatever direction Saturn is pointing at it, the moon is in the right position to bounce it off of it. That's why it's a completely white surface. No, oh man. So much goddamn effort into the control. It's too big.
That are being recorded coming out of Saturn. And what I'm saying here is that sound represents the information matrix that the human genetic manipulation recorded by all these ancient cultures has been tuned in to pick up and decode into reality.
It all started when the moon arrived.
Our reality would be different if we weren't decoding that, what I call the hack, into our reality, into our sense of reality.
Alright, David, I'll leave it at that for you, buddy, but for all of us, let me just play the little soundbite again. Just for shits and giggles. Where am I? Oh, crap. I suck at this. Here we go. I mean, it's. I just wanted to put it out there that I know you people are hearing it. God, I mean, like. I mean, I don't know what to tell you to do about it, but I mean, like, just recognizing it's gotta lose its power a little bit, right? I don't know. This is why the sheeple are so sleepy. It's just the background noise. It overwhelms the Earth's natural background noise. That's why we're all confused. I mean, I don't know all the answers, but man, sometimes it's funny how things just all click together. A force bigger than me, that's for sure. Alright, people. Again, thanks for putting up with this kind of like juggling act. But hey, I managed to do it with my little random electronic little gremlins in there or something screwing them up. Alright, everybody, God bless, and I don't know, wear tinfoil hats or foil on your heads like those crazy guys in the 60s, right? To block them from reading my mind. They were onto something. Alright, everybody, I'm gonna do some more stuff on this, but I gotta, you know, I gotta get a little bit. It's a big picture. It's a big puzzle. Alright, everybody. Good night.